This episode is brought to you by Bellator's Publishing, bringing stories to the world that last forever.
Today, Sian will be convincing me to read her favorite book of 2025.
Maybe even ever.
Ooh.
Today, I will be convincing JC, and hopefully all of you too, to read The Will of the Many by James Islington, the first book in his Hierarchy series. When I say this is one of the best fantasy books I've ever read, and I am by no means alone. At the time of recording, this book has a Goodreads rating of 4.6 stars, with over 188,000 ratings. It is a fantasy book with a college setting, but trust me, it is not like the others. There won't be any spoilers for the book in this episode because that would defeat the object of convincing you all to read it.
If she managed to convince me, then we will invite you to join us week by week as I do my first read and Sian does her second. If that is up your street, then please take a second to like this episode and subscribe for the latest updates.
Also, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Did I manage to convince you to read it? All of this helps more fantasy lovers find us, and it's one of the easiest ways to support what we do.
So, I will let Sian run through how she is planning to convince me to read The Will of the Many by James Islington.
First, I thought I would do a little dance. Then, when that doesn't work, I might just cry and say, "You're a bad husband." Is that okay?
No pressure here, I guess.
No? Okay then. Actually, so what I'm going to do is I want to take you all on a journey to the Coveted Republic, introduce you to Vis Telemus, and explain a bit about the magic system which blew my mind. We will read the blurb, look at the cover and see what vibes you're getting, and then you can ask me any questions you feel like you need to ask to be able to make your decision on whether I have convinced you. So, let's start with judging a book by its cover. Here is the book. Remembering that not everybody is watching us on YouTube, but also reminding everyone who isn't watching us on YouTube, you can. Our videos are available for free. Take a look and say what you see.
Okay, so for all those ones that can't see the video, I have my book here and it's all orange. The first thing that you can see is there are like 4 columns. All of them are like destroyer in the middle, and then you have the title of the book and white letters, The Will of the Many. And the first impression that I have is something like Greek maybe, or something like Roman with these columns.
Roman, yeah.
So yeah, and the span of the book, another broken column, and in the middle there's actually quite interesting. And then in the back we have just what I think it's going to be like a little bit description.
The blurb,
of the
yeah,
book.
don't read that yet. So you said Roman, you're absolutely right. There is a different column there though.
Something
All
that
of
it
them
caught
are
my
different.
attention, is that all the columns are different, but I don't know if that is relevant. But yes, it's one that it has no like fancy design in the patterns on the column. It's like
more like
all
marble.
smooth.
I think it is relevant, but I'm not going to say any more. So now, as you pointed out, the synopsis summons. So let me read you the blurb and then you can see what you think. Before I start this, do not judge my Latin, because I never studied Latin. Audi vire tace. The Coveted Republic, the hierarchy, may rule the world now, but they do not know everything. I tell them my name is Vis Telemus. I tell them I was orphaned after a tragic accident 3 years ago, and that good fortune alone has led to my acceptance into their most prestigious school. I tell them that once I graduate, I will gladly join the rest of civilized society in allowing my strength, my drive, and my focus, what they call will, to be leached away and added to the power of those above me, as millions already do, as all must eventually do. I tell them that I belong and they believe me. But the truth is that I have been sent to the academy to find answers, to solve a murder, to search for an ancient weapon, to uncover secrets that may tear the Republic apart, and that I will never ever cede my will to the empire that executed my family. To survive, though, I will still have to rise through the academy's ranks. I will have to smile and make friends and pretend to be one of them and win. Because if I cannot, then those who want to control me, who know my real name, will no longer have any use for me. And if the hierarchy finds out who I truly am, they will kill me. Is that what you expected? So, I know you said you're getting Roman vibes, but this is definitely fantasy. This is high fantasy. So this is taking you out of this world into another one that is very based on a kind of Roman civilization. From that, what did you get?
So I get a lot of questions, to be honest, because obviously the first thing is that it's going to give the will to some of them. They have like all the power. So here in this world, you can give your will, like literally give it. And that is something maybe magical, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Also, it seems that I found them curious when he said that he was an orphan. That was like one of the things that allowed him to go to this academy. So what is this academy about? Because why that would be like something that is in his advantage. And of course, by the end, when he said that if they find out who he actually is, they will kill him. So obviously, I start to guessing that maybe his family die because this academy or the people who are empowered, they didn't like it for a specific reason. They will kill, and they didn't know that they had this child, I guess. Was the first vibes that I'm getting.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, you picked up quite a lot of it already. At the start of the show, I promised you a journey to the Catenan Republic and an introduction to Viz Telemus and an explanation of the magic system, which blew my mind. So, going into the realm revealed, the setting and socio-political structure, as you have correctly identified, is heavily inspired by the Roman Republic. We visit multiple parts of the Catenan Republic throughout the book, with my favourite parts taking place at the Catenan Academy, which is obviously mentioned in the blurb. It's a college for the kids of the elite and powerful, in the hopes that they're training the next generation of leaders of the hierarchy. So that isn't a spoiler, but there's a way that he gets in there, and it's not a conventional route. We get to travel around the Republic, so we visit several different places, but they are all ruled by the hierarchy. Yeah, I don't want to say too much more. There is a map in the front of the book. We're not going to go into that, but there's multiple places. In fact, there's two maps because it shows you.
So we're talking about like Roman-like. No, they're actually Roman.
No. This is
so
a completely
totally
different.
fantasy
Yeah.
World. Yes. Okay.
It's completely different. It's just that you can see that there's been a Latin influence.
Yeah.
The civilization that is most closely comparable to this fantasy book would be a Roman situation. Yes. And I honestly, so the reason I read this was for an in-person book club, the book club that I do with Waterstones in Leamington. It is not one that I would have picked up because I'd have seen the Roman columns and I'd have been like, oh, it's historical fiction. Absolutely not. This is the best fantasy book I've ever read. And that's saying something.
So, can you say a little bit about this magic? Like, every single one who lives in the world, they have magic, or it's just a few they have this? Because we're talking about giving the will, so it's something that it seems that every single one has at least the will, but I don't know if that is can manifest in a magical way, or is
so I can give you a magic system 101. The magic system in The Will of the Many centers on a force called the will. So will represents a person's drive, a person's focus, a person's energy, and it can be shared or taken between people in a strict hierarchy. So think of a pyramid.
Yeah.
Those at the top gain more power, both physical and magical. While those at the bottom are kind of drained of their vitality. So the use and control of will are like tightly regulated by the hierarchy, especially at the academy. Will is used for all sorts of really cool things. Much of it's kind of supporting an advanced civilization like we have today, like light, power, sound, like sound amplification, speaker systems and things that you wouldn't expect a fantasy setting to have. Some of it is how they do architecture, so things can be built with will. And then there's some really cool engineering, like transvects, which are like cross-catenan modes of transport. So what I really love about this magic system is that it is grounded in like a political concept and kind of commentary on, again, like how things are happening around the world in certain societies. And it turns it into this like magic engineering, like it's so cool. It's not, and for me, it's not like any other magic system that I've read. I'm not saying it's totally unique because I obviously have not read every fantasy book there is. But this one, for me, it was a first of this kind that I've ever read. And it was just so refreshing. That's all I can really say for now, because I don't want to spoil anything. And I have already given you like what you would learn from the book about the magic system. But I think it's helpful to know what you're going into if you let me convince you to read it.
Okay.
I was never meant to love a human. But then I saw her. I wasn't supposed to touch that fruit, but I took it and I ate it. I was the most loyal of angels until I lost her. Now they call me the devil, and I'll burn heaven itself before I lose her again.
Memoirs of Luzbel, a dark fantasy novel. Book 1 of the Luzbel saga. Now available on Amazon.
So I also want to do a meet the main character. So we see the story through the eyes of Vis Telemus, as you found out in the blurb.
Yes.
He is our first male main character narrator that isn't part of a dual POV in the books that we've been reading together on this so far. He's an orphan, obviously, having lost his parents to kind of the brutal formation of the Catenan Republic. So we will follow his journey from outcast to academy and beyond. He's not perfect, like all of us. He's young. We see his growth through the lessons that he learns and the friendships that he makes at the academy, and as he uncovers the mysteries and the cover-ups of the hierarchy. He's got bravery to the point that he is foolish, so he acts rashly, and he is like just throws himself into situations where he really should have thought about it. You get like a growth in terms of how his strength, and you get a growth in terms of his understanding, and I just like absolutely was not ready. This book is how many pages? Nearly 700 pages, and it's quite small writing. And I was not ready to leave. I also have not started the second book, which the second book is out already, in the hopes that we can read this together, theorize about what's going to happen, and then read the next book. So
Okay, a little bit more the pressure here.
well, no pressure, because I'll just, if you say no, I'm just going to go away and straight away read it, because I cannot wait to find out what happens next. It's taken a lot of willpower, not.
Yeah. How young is the main character? Because if I go to academy, are we talking about like 20s or Harry Potter age?
He is 17 at the start of The Will of the Many, and he is 18 at the end of The Will of the Many.
It's that long, the book.
Well, he has a birthday, basically.
Yeah.
Or he doesn't really have, I'm not going to say. There's something about his birthday. Okay, so I think it's time for the fantasy fine print. So this is the part of the show where I give you all the disclaimers. Honestly, there is really nothing that I didn't like about this book in my first read. But I do want to warn you that it is not romantasy. While we love romantasy, we don't ever restrict ourselves to one subgenre of fantasy. There is a romance subplot, but it is by no means the central theme of the book. This is the first book in a trilogy. The second book, The Strength of the Few, is out already, and James Islington has just announced the title of the third and final installment, The Justice of the One. I love the progression of these titles, by the way. There is still no date for publication for the final book, but from what I have seen, I expect it to be around early 2027. Just saying that because some people don't necessarily want to start reading a series that hasn't finished yet. We bloody love that though, because that's the best thing. You can start to speculate and be wildly wrong and just have a bit of fun with it. So those are my main disclaimers. It is a high fantasy, and yeah, I'm ready for a high fantasy to deep dive.
Yeah, obviously we like romantasy.
Love romantasy.
Yes, so it has been basically our thing for the last year and a half in the podcast. But we just recently, we did a new episode with A Wrinkle in Time. There was something completely different. And I felt that was a little bit refreshing, go for like something completely different. So the fact that this book is no romantasy is not something that's going to be an obstacle for me to fully enjoy the plot and everything that you're saying. I know this book has been something really important for you. This is the very first time when I start to see more details about this book. The only thing that you haven't told me so far is that had been the best book that you have read so far. And after reading all the books that we've been reading together and the podcast, that has been a big statement. I really trust your taste.
What if you hate it? You won't.
Yeah.
I have recommended this to anyone who stood still long enough in my presence.
It's a big chunk of book. I think
a tome.
It's more than 200,000 words or something like this.
Yeah, because they're really tiny. Please don't be put off by the tiny print. Like, if you want, listen to the audiobook. The audiobook is great.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have any questions? Anything that you need to ask before you give us your verdict?
So far, the books that we've been like deep diving and doing read along, they've been so good. They managed to get maybe like a movie.
Oh yeah,
a series.
I forgot to mention that. James Islington has just signed a movie deal for The Will of the Many.
So it's that good.
It is gonna be
a movie or something.
Yeah, and I think this is gonna be an incredible movie. And you know, like, this is big claims, but you know, like Lord of the Rings and 300 and like those epic ones.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those, and I think it's going to convince more people who don't like reading to read. I have so much confidence. If they do this well, it's going to be good.
Okay, so we know now that this book is not something that you will consider spicy. So maybe from 1 to 3 chiles, that many people will be just 1 or 0.
0, yeah.
What about violence? Is it a book?
Yeah, it's gory. It's quite gory. There's a lot of fighting.
Yeah, because if it's kind of like a Roman like theme that's going to say that, I'm expecting maybe some fights.
No, it's not. So it's not like, I wouldn't describe it as battle. It's not battles. It's more like
murders, maybe.
There's like there's fights and gore and stuff, but not battles. And I don't want to ruin it. But yeah, it's not like epic battles.
Yeah, if this book was an animal, how you describe it? What you say it will be?
A lion.
A lion. Like it. What about the magic system? What's the thing they like you the most, or they make you think they're so different to other books? It's something that you can say about it.
Yeah, so the magic is really cool in that they can do some awesome stuff with it. But what is really different is where it comes from. And it's not like, and I've explained this already, that you basically sap it, or you willingly give it to the person above you who has multiple people and gets more power. And that is what is so like spine-chillingly real about it, is that it's such a commentary on a capitalist structure. It's so good. And I know that I'm setting myself up to fail here, because I just love it. And I'm not alone. My book club is some of them listen and they won't mind me saying this, but we have quite high standards for books. This one, I think, scored a 4.6 or 4.7. I'd have to check the chat. That is, for about 25 members, that is incredibly good. Like, there was like maybe 1 or 2 people stand out that didn't like it. Everybody else was like, yeah, this is amazing. Obviously. So I did bring up the average because I gave it a 6 star, because I would give this a 6 star, but I don't know if they even counted that. So yeah, I'm not alone in loving it. So I do feel confident that you will like it.
Okay.
Okay, it's time for the verdict. Don't make me want to cry. I gave this as a Christmas present to my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
And the note that I put on the gift was, if you don't like this book, I don't like you. So no pressure.
Okay, so thinking about it, we come from a really long line from romantasy and this kind of books. So I think it will be really good if we start to see something different, because like I said before, reading this curriculum time, there was something completely different to what we've been doing before. It's something that I really enjoyed doing. And if this is so different, that the magic system is so unique or so different to other books, I would like to see what else is the fantasy world has there to offer us. So I think you convinced me.
Yay! I had no doubt. So I've convinced you, but have I managed to convince you? Please comment below to let us know whether I have managed to convince you to read the book. If I have, then why not read along with us? Keep an eye out for the episode schedule, which will set out which chapters we're covering each week, starting next